What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake NBA DFS Early Look. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And of course, I'm from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed below or directly at WiseTake.com. Looking to take your DFS game to the next level. We are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Day passes are $2.50. Go check it out. That being said, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe, hit the notifications bell so that you're notified whenever we do go live or put out free content, which we like to do often, and we'll be doing more of with baseball season literally in a couple weeks. That being said, if you can like the video, if you decide you like it anyway, just don't forget at least comment below. I'd like to hear back from you. I'd like to hear some feedback. I'd like to hear what you guys think of the slate, and the most important thing you can do for us is share the show. Share the show. The more you share, the bigger we get, the more we're able to put back into our products, whether it's at WiseTake.com, and especially our free content here on YouTube and whatnot. That being said, quick shout out to WiseTake Nation member OG, who took down the Minimax, the 50-cent entry, I believe it was, took first and second, walked away with over 2,200 on the day. Shout out to him. We had a lot of feedback. I know our boy Aaron Cameron did well. A couple of them, I think True Life, one of our members, had also mentioned he had done really well recently. Had a big night, so it's good. The nation's hot, man. It's good to see. Good to see the feedback from our people that things are going well, and we're hoping to continue that momentum with this slate here. A little bit of a later lock. 7:30 p.m. Eastern is the first game, and it's Utah-Boston, the only game going off that early. Utah's been really good. They're on the road. Boston is getting healthy, right? They got Marcus Smart back now. They're getting healthy, but they haven't looked as crisp or as dominant or as good as they did last year. However, Utah is just getting by on threes, man. They're just taking threes constantly, so it's kind of pushed the pace of their games from time to time. So I think this one could be interesting. The only problem is I don't like the early games. Y'all know that. I don't like the early games normally. Because usually there's increased ownership. However, I do find, like, just like how LeBron said it at the All-Star break when he was picking the teams, nobody ever plays Utah, right? Like when you're playing like NBA Jam back in the day, like you weren't playing Utah, you weren't playing the Jazz, right? When you're playing NBA 2K, you weren't playing Utah, you're not really playing the Jazz. So maybe we see Utah come in a little lower owned. Donovan Mitchell has a phenomenal matchup. Well, it's a great spot for him anyway. Listen, the reason I say that is because Boston typically does struggle against shooters. Mitchell, we know, is a shooter now. He's not that consistent of a shooter, or at least not as often as we'd like him to be. But I think we would have to say that he does have upside. Rudy Gobert is in a pretty good spot here, right? Boston, not that big a team, even with Robert Williams, even with Tristan Thompson, even with Daniel Tice. It's not that big. Jaylen Brown's price has come down on FanDuel at 7.6. He's 7.9 on DraftKings. Right, this is a kind of flip flop. For the longest, Jaylen Brown was cheaper on DraftKings, and FanDuel had him at like 8.4. FanDuel's come down to reality along with his recent performances, but he is cheaper. Don't mind Kemba Walker. Robert Williams is okay, but the minutes are very limited. He doesn't need it, as you can see. Like Houston was the right spot against Gobert with limited minutes. That's a little frightening. But I guess that's the hardest part. You know who I would like? We would need Conley or Mitchell to be out in order to really count on the upside. But this would be a great spot for Jordan Clarkson. I think the problem, of course, is the ceiling is limited when you know he's a bench player that's going to leave most likely in the close, right? With Conley and Mitchell both healthy. So again, once again, you're at Boston and you're just like, oh, maybe we could find something, and it's just it's unexciting. Maybe it is a Utah thing. Nothing to the city, but the team itself, right? Like, maybe it is a Utah thing. I say city meaning Salt Lake City. Obviously, I know Utah's a state. Holla. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of tried to force myself to get into that, but it's not that pretty. Cleveland, Miami. Cleveland's terrible, right? Jimmy Buckets has been awesome. Let's get that out the way. Buckets has been fucking awesome. He was doing dirties before he got hurt. or before. Yeah, I guess he was hurt. He just missed 2 games. He was probably sore. Missed 2 games, came back, continued to do 30s. Matchup wise, it's phenomenal. Right now, Bam has been out, so that's increased his ownership. Bam is probable. Looks like he's gonna come back. Keep that in mind. Maybe Jimmy's overpriced at this point, especially considering Cleveland is terrible, and Cleveland gets blown out all the time. I think Bam Adebayo is interesting, but I don't really like his price on either site, to be honest. With everybody healthy, him coming back makes Kelly Olynyk, right, overpriced. Really, to tell you the truth. This is another one that's kind of hard to get into. I find it hard to get into. The pace of this game don't look great. Nothing looks all that great. Now, Atlanta Houston, on the other hand, is interesting. Game will be fast. Will Atlanta beat the shit out of Houston? Probably. Why? Because everyone does. But we got to check the pricing. Now, Houston is also terrible defensively. So even though the game could end ugly, you still have to take a look at the players that are playing against them because, like I said, Houston does not play defense. Trae Young is only 9K on FanDuel. He only went for 23 against Cleveland, but that game was just dirty, nasty, ugly. This one could be too, but maybe he gets it in there in time. Whoever plays center is going to smash. So we'll check the status of Capella. It will be a revenge spot for Capella too. I'd play the shit out of Capella. Capella could be that dude. If he plays, he's questionable though. I would love for him to play. Just destroy Houston. Feel good about himself. Depot's fine. The issue is the same with everything else. Is he gonna play in a game that's close enough to actually play legitimate starters minutes? 31 against Boston. But the usage will be there. If Capella does miss, then I think we got to fire up Mr. John Collins once again. I think he could have done more damage against Cleveland as well, but still, 6'7" on DraftKings, 6'5" on FanDuel. Kevin Porter Jr. got himself into a little bit of foul trouble in the last game. Kind of limited his upside. Then the game got ugly, so they never put him back in. I'm certainly willing to go back at 6K. He's 7K on DraftKings. I'd probably still play him. I mean, the usage right now looks awesome, to tell you the truth. So I'll probably still play him in tournaments. But on FanDuel for sure, especially because he's small forward, which is typically an uglier position. Herder's fine. Galinari is not bad. Now, he did start because Capella missed, but he's been pretty consistently playing well. So I'm fine with him. He is 5'9" on DraftKings, not as appealing. Tate is 5'7" on DraftKings, 5'3" on FanDuel. He had a really good game. 4 steals was a big, and a block. That was a big reason. But in a blowout, he only played 25 minutes. So that's going to be the theme of the Houston games going forward. The spot is juicy if you can avoid the blowout. And that's going to be a tough task, unfortunately. It does look like Nawab is out, so they'll be even more thin. How much? I wonder if they move the price on our boy here. Let's take a look. Kenyon Martin is still 3,500. Okay. That's weird. I don't know why. I really don't. I'm a little confused as to why he's so cheap. So yeah, 3,500. I would imagine he's going to be one of the most popular players on FanDuel, right? And we got more bodies out, right? I think I saw Nawaba was out. Eric Gordon, yeah, we know that. No, the new house. Maybe is that why? Because he may come back. Why even bring him back? I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe we have to wait for some. I mean, not that FanDuel needs any justification for doing shit like that, but my point was just that I know that Nawaba's out. McLemore is also a game time decision. He's questionable. So if those guys are out, then definitely. If those guys are in, you got to make some decisions, I guess, huh? Yes, you do. Bogdanovich hasn't exactly worked out. I wouldn't say. I mean, he did get hurt. I'm judging him a little bit too early. We missed a lot of the games, but he's 3,800. He's okay. But yeah, I mean, how much is Porter? Porter, man, the other junior. I would think if they want to play the young guys, then they want to play our boy here. If I can fucking find him. KJ Martin. 5'3" KJ Martin on DraftKings. DraftKings is on it, man. It's sharp. FanDuel is like, come on, man. But I will be playing shit ton of him, I believe. Next up, Knicks, Philly, back-to-back for the Knicks. No Joel Embiid, man. That's crazy. That was crazy. Hopefully, I didn't see the injury. Paulie said it was pretty bad. I'm hearing that it wasn't as bad as it looked, but Scurry, nonetheless, man. Embiid's having himself a season. Randall, we know what that is. Simmons is fine. Toby Kenobi's fine. Derrick Rose, game time decision. So, if Derrick Rose comes back, I would assume, like at this point, you got to think he had the Rona, right? Because he was out. Like, it's been how many weeks? A couple, right? And I think you just need some positive tests over what, a week? Maybe it's 2 weeks. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe it's 2 weeks. I don't know. Anyway, he's only 5'9". I would just be a little nervous about all the time he's missed. With Embiid out, there's higher usage, obviously. You know what? I kind of blew off Simmons and Tobias, not even realizing that I just fucking said Joel Embiid is out. Oh. Okay, no. Okay, Rose is no from there. Anyway, so yeah, Simmons and Toby, we should probably take a quick look at them, right? Yeah, I think so. Simmons 9K on DraftKings, 8.5 on FanDuel. Again, FanDuel is with it. On DraftKings with it. FanDuel 8.2 at 7.8. Didn't really adjust a ton, right? Toby's price was kind of already. They did raise Seth Curry's price, which is like, at least there's that. Keep in mind, however, the Knicks are a pretty good defensive team. Just saying. Elfrid Payton went from doubtful to questionable. We'll see if he plays. Dwight Howard, 19 minutes against San Antonio, 18 against Washington. So did Tony Bradley actually play? Tony Bradley, 3,500 on FanDuel, phenomenal. I mean, I don't know how you don't play Tony Bradley, even if he, I don't know. It seems like he's going to get at least 20 minutes at this point against a team, the Knicks, that are not good at defending bigs. So there's another value play. How much is Bradley over here? 3,700. He's cheap here too. FanDuel, I feel like you get a little extra something with the blocks. Now, don't get me wrong. I recognize that Dwight is probably the mainstay, but Dwight is pretty expensive, right? He's done well in the right spots, and you could argue this is that spot. But even with him beat out, I haven't seen Dwight really hit the 30-minute mark. So I'm definitely interested in Tony Bradley. Let's keep it moving. OKC, Chicago. OKC games. Really don't like OKC games, man. Their pace is just horrific. But no Horford. This is a really good spot for centers. It's the first thing I see. Let's think about this, right? Where's Mr. Roby? Roby, it's funny. He didn't even start recently with Horford out. But it looks like he ended up playing enough minutes. Yeah, Roby at 4.7 is also a pretty good looking play, I would say. Thad Young started and ended up getting less minutes than as if he didn't start. That's funny. Still no Basley. So, yeah, I mean, this is a really good spot for Roby if he could stay out of foul trouble. So, they did play this dude, Alexej Pakuvsky. And the only reason I'm even trying to say that is for the people that are listening on audio only, so they know what the fuck I'm talking about. This dude got 39 minutes and balled the fuck out. Like, what? He had 29 minutes against Dallas, did well. 29 against the Knicks, did horrific. And then played 39 against Memphis and just balled out. 44 FanDuel points. He's 4,500. I would imagine he draws some attention. That's good, though. At least on FanDuel, you have a few of these value plays that may pull some attention away from each other, right? Like, he may lower the ownership of Roby. And then even Muscala, who got 12 minutes. He got 12 minutes. He kind of got phased out. Oh, boy. But, yeah, so that's a bright spot. Bigs against Chicago is definitely a thing that we want to take into consideration. On the other side, Wendell Carter's not looking so bad either because, especially with no Horford, bigs against OKC is definitely a thing. Where is... He's 5'4" on DraftKings. Not bad. I think Wendell Carter's fine. Levine's fine. I just don't like the pace of this game. Maladon and Dort, Svi, they got a lot of guys questionable. Missing George Hill still. So who the hell is going to play guard? I mean, let's see. Theo Maladon is questionable. He did miss a game. Be surprised if he didn't come back, but maybe we should be. I guess Ty Jerome would get some action. Svi, I didn't think was going to be ready to play. Oh, okay. No, maybe he will. Looks like he didn't play on Sunday. So that note was from Sunday. So maybe he will play. Depending on how shorthanded they are, can obviously change things, right? New Orleans and Portland into the 10 o'clock game. Is McCollum coming back? Ooh, McCollum is supposed to come back. He's not on the injury report. FanDuel finally raised somebody's price, and they did it on a player who will most likely be on a minutes limit. Nice. Now, DraftKings got him at 7.5. It's not like they have him crazy. They got him at point guard. That's kind of stupid. Gonna defer people from playing McCollum and Dame together, even though I think it's rare that you can. Only in the right matchup anyway, just saying. So that's going to hurt Dame's upside, but I think it's also going to lower Dame's ownership. And if McCollum is limited or just kind of taking it easy even, then we can still get the same Dame at low ownership. So that's kind of interesting. Good spot for Zion. Size-wise, not bad for Ingram. Lonzo's okay. You know, you would think I would like this game a little bit more. But with McCollum coming back, that kind of kicked me in the you-know-what. Cantor's only 6'2". I don't mind him against Adams. I don't mind Adams either. But you know what it is, really? The pricing just has me a little less excited about this game. It's the pricing. That's what it is. That's what it is. But yeah, I thought I was going to have a little more to say about it. I mean, Zion, Ingram, like the main guys are the main guys. There's not really a ton of the ancillary type plays that I want to play. Like Covington matched up with Zion and Derrick Jones matched up with Ingram. I guess, it's fine. But it's not like they're crazy cheap to where I feel like I'm missing out if I don't either. Minnesota and the Lakers. Back-to-back for the Lakers. This is interesting because the Lakers have been terrible, but Minnesota's not good either. I do like Cat. Obviously, you have to have at least some interest in LeBron. You don't have to play LeBron if you don't want to, but you have to have some kind of interest. I do like Cat, though. Anthony Edwards' price has come up, rightfully so. 7.2 on DraftKings, 7K on FanDuel. Playing big minutes with Beasley suspended. He's definitely an aggressive player. He likes to take shots. Man, FanDuel actually raised up these guys' prices to a point where it's not all that exciting. Ricky Rubio is 5'2". That's probably still a little too cheap for the role. He's 5'9" on DraftKings. Jaylen Noel, 4,500. Might be one of the better bargains at the position, considering he is 53 on DraftKings. And I believe they had a player. Yeah, okay, here we go. So Jaden McDaniels. Okay. He had a false positive on Sunday. Okay, so McDaniels is back. With McDaniels out, I was going to say load up on Jared Vanderbilt, but that is not the case. Because it looks like he had a false positive, and he's good to mother suck and go. Shorter and Montrezl are fine, but I'm just not a fan of the price increase. But this game in Minnesota will push the pace, right? I do like Rubio. Again, another game that I thought I'd have a little bit more to say. This slate is fucking weird. Right? Put it this way, I'm having a hard time pinpointing anything I really like in these two games, but I don't want to we recognize some value, and I don't want to be coming here at 10 o'clock, 10:30 with no pieces of these two games, right? So those are my GPP pieces, right? I'm going to build the core players that I like in the earlies and then kind of game stackish type shit with these late ones. Yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of the WiseTake Early Look. Don't forget to check us out at wisetake.com. Leave me a comment. Follow us on Twitter. Everything else. Blah, 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 blah. You know the deal. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to those of the nation who are doing well. Appreciate y'all. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.